Hola, muy buenos días. In this little session, it's a quick little video to look at some tricks and tips to help with masculine and feminine in Spanish nouns, something often that causes a bit of a problem. So let's have a quick look. So some basics before moving on. We'll talk about nouns, and basically there are two groups or families of nouns. They are what we call countable nouns and uncountable nouns, or sometimes called mass nouns. So we've got book, tree, car, fish, things which are countable or tangible. And then the other side of the coin, we've got these uncountable, things that we can't see, things we can't touch, air, love, fear. The list is endless. So, what does that all mean to us though when we're learning Spanish? Well, in Spanish all nouns belong to one of two categories or groups. They're either masculine, and you'll see a little M in the brackets, or feminine, a little F in the bracket when you look up a word in a dictionary or in something like word reference. But this is a bit misleading, as nouns do not have a gender. They are not gender specific, but they do fall into these two categories. Lots of Romance languages have this idea of masculine and feminine, and it can be a little bit tricky for English speakers, because obviously that's not something we have in our own language. So maybe we could see them as two different categories or two different groups, but still in all textbooks and in dictionaries you are going to see masculine and feminine, so we can't avoid that. But I think just to avoid some confusion, let's just think of them as two different categories. Category A, category B, doesn't really matter what we call them, we've got to understand how they work. So masculine, so with our N there, un is a or an, and el is the. So there's a little bit of a difference between our indirect and direct. Un chico, a boy, non-specific. El chico, que es simpático. El chico, que es muy simpático. So this boy actually is the boy. Ah, that's the one, yeah, that really friendly lad. Okay, el chico, que es muy simpático. Which is just un chico, just a boy. We're not saying much about him. And then the equivalents on the feminine side, we've got una, which is a or an, la, the. Una casa, a house. La piscina, una casa. So, how do we know if it's masculine or feminine? Because it is really important, as we'll see in a later video. Well, one of the early things that we learn is that words that end in o in Spanish are usually pretty certain they're going to be masculine. So we've got el banco, un estadio, el colegio, un instituto. Words that end in E, again, are pretty likely to be masculine. El coche, el estuche, un cine. Okay, so O and E. We've also got this category, on. So, el jamón, un melón, un limón, un ratón, un melocotón. These are all words which are masculine words. So these are all masculine words. So we've got three basic ideas. We've got words ending with o, words ending with e, and words ending with on. There are others, but these are some common ones that we might come across. So let's have a look at some feminine words. So these are more likely to be words that end with an a. So they're more likely to be feminine. Una casa, la playa, la costa, la cocina, la piscina. Words ending in a thion, thion, la estación, la natación, una colaboración. So these words are feminine words. So we've got words that end in a, words that end in thion. Another couple of categories of feminine words are words that end in dad, D-A-D, dad, which incidentally usually translates in English as ty. So we've got la calidad, the quality, la ciudad, the city, una cantidad, a quantity, la universidad, university. And words ending in ia, una diferencia, la alegría, happiness, la historia, la geografía. So these words ending in ia and dad are feminine word. So that's a really good couple of little things to help us along with that. But cuidado, cuidado, beware, el agua, el planeta, el tema, el problema, la mano, la foto. Well, this one actually isn't one to trip you up. This is la fotografía. It's just shortened to la foto. It's fotografía. So we need to remember that there are more that fall into these categories, and we just have to learn those, and we just have to remember those. So, to recap, nouns fall into mass nouns and non-mass, okay, so countable and uncountable, and then they fall into a category of masculine and feminine. And then how do we recognise which is going to be which? We can look at the idea for masculine words of ending in o and e and on, and then feminine words tending to end in a and theon and dad, and then we're looking at also ia, and then some exceptions. Okay, so I hope that's helped you a little bit with nouns. It's really important that we know if a noun is masculine or feminine, because that's going to directly affect adjectives when we come to have a look at those, and we'll be looking at those in a video very shortly. Muy buenos días, muchas gracias.